Alrighty, we are in Davinci Resolve. This is actually the full project, so I'm not just using the the video file, the exported video file. This is the actual project itself. You can see all these crazy ass layers that I have here. And anyways, but we're just gonna kind of go through some of the logistics of the filming day, right? So this is sort of Milano, right? Milano, if you're not familiar with it, great tool, collaboration tool, and kind of pre-production tool that I use it for, right? So we're gonna go. I think this is part 1 of 2. Part 1 is gonna go through three scenes, and I guess we'll just kind of go through the gist of it, right? Which is basically we're gonna schedule our day based upon the path of the sun, right? So Sunseeker, you guys should know about Sunseeker. If not, download it, get it. One of the best tools you can have for pre-production on any kind of scale, any kind of budget. And so we want to be able to shoot around the sun because the sun's going to be our main motivation for where our backlight can be, right? And if we use backlight, then that 80% of our work is already done. Based upon where the sun is, based upon where our main source of backlight is, right? So gear-wise, we went with the FX9, we went with the Sigma Cine full frame primes, we went with the Kawa 16H with the SLR Magic 50mm as a taking lens, tripod shots, slider shots, and handheld with the Easy Rig, and some shots were just pure handheld, no Easy Rig, right? So let's go through. That being said, the lighting gear and the grip gear you'll see as we go through the actual as we go through the actual breakdown. Let's go ahead and start with the, I guess we'll just kind of go from beginning to end, right? It's only 4.5 minutes and this should be pretty simple to go through, right? So our opening shot, actually let me turn that off. All right, cool. So opening shots, right? We're kind of just doing this nice little slider shot in here. Immediately we turn this off here. You can see a little bit better, right? And how do we create this shot, right? Right now, our sun is basically behind the house here, right? So our sun is like here, which means we're not really competing with the sun, which is great. We're only seeing really one window, right? If you have windows in the shot and you can't expose for the background, then use blinds, use curtains, use shears. In this situation, we had blinds already on the window. So you just play around with the opening, the closing of the blinds to get the level you want for the background, and that way you can expose for that properly. This room also has 3 windows total, so there's a window here and then another window over here, which is where we use our Forza 500 to give us basically our general room tone, right? Is the Forza 500. Oh, here we go. All right, so our Forza 500 is this guy right here, right? On a C-stand, just boomed up on the Fresnel, right? And so as we continue on, right, our Forza 500 is giving us our general room tone. We also have an aperture 120D with, oh my God, can I even write? Hello? We have a 120D with the, what do we have on there? With the barn door attachment. And that's helping to, again, just kind of push a little bit more light here. The blinds, as you can see, are giving us those little cuts of light from the Forza 500. And then to camera right, just to create our contrast, is we have our 8x8 of neg just on a T-bar on camera right behind this door here. All right, moving on. Then we go to the little insert shot. This was just like, quick and dirty shot. Just get it. I didn't bother lighting it because it's like, 1, 2. It's like 2-second shot, right? So fuck it. Who cares? So this shot, you can see it's pretty much on a desk, and this desk is pushed right up against the wall of the window. So if you wanted to make this prettier, you could move the desk further away from the wall, so you have more space to light, and then you can, whatever you want to put, you can put like a little falconized light overhead or a light mat or a tube or something like that, diffuse it just to kind of get more contrast on it. But I said, screw it, it's not really like an important shot right now. On to the next shot. This is where our character Jamal, he wakes up, right? And that same lighting setup we had in the beginning, same thing here, nothing has changed. I wanted to go with more hard light on the body. softer on the face, and we might be able to get a little bit, actually let me do this, take the scrubbing off, right? So again, more hard light on the body, and this is where that 120D comes in, because the 120D is pushing more level on him, and then the 4500, again, it's still giving us our general just room tone here, right? And you know, how can you create more interest, right? Use the blinds, create patterns, use the blinds and have the forces shoot through the blinds, right? Creating little patterns here, right? Even on the wall, right? Little patterns here. I feel like this is a lot of empty space though, to be honest, and I wish we could have had more set decoration. I actually bought like posters on Amazon, like basketball posters, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. But for some reason, I think my mind was just blanking out at this time, and I put them on the right side and not on the left side, you know. So just goes to show you, you know, when honestly, I wish I had an AD. I didn't have an AD. I didn't have a script supervisor, and I wish I had those, because I was directing it, I was DPing it, I was operating it. But I also had to be the AD, you know, and unfortunately that just, sometimes it doesn't work out when you have limited crew, right? All right, so next part is montage stuff. I don't think anything else here. Yeah, no, we didn't have any other lights. And then again, neg, just camera right, all right, same thing. Montage stuff, this is all just, you know, run and gun, just use available daylight kind of thing, right? Overcast, okay. Back in the room, we go for the insert. We rack focus from the basketball straight to him. Now, this setup, I was fucking around for like 10, 15 minutes, and I just, you know, said screw it. Because again, we have that hard light coming in, right? We have a lot of patterns here, which is awesome. But we had a hard light coming on to his face, and it was a little bit too hard. So I tried using a 4x4, I think magic cloth at first, but the magic cloth was just, it was too much. And the 120D, even of going straight into the magic cloth, it just wasn't enough power, right? Even at 100%. So then we tried quarter grid, and quarter grid was looking a little bit too sourcey, right? So it's, how do you find the balance, right? How do you find the balance between something looking too sourcey and underexposed, right? And so I said, you know what, this isn't working. It's already been 10 minutes. We're fucking around with this thing. Just screw it. Let's just go hard light, right? And you can tell here, right? Especially if I go full screen, right? You can tell like the hard light's pretty harsh on his face. You know, if I had quarter grid, but if I had maybe like another Forza 500 or something just with more output, even maybe a light matte, you know, a light matte +3 or +4 with just like quarter grid, the quarter grid diffusion, it might have been enough. I didn't have that at the time. And then, so, you know, we're going with the hard light here, right? But at least we can have like some patterns here, right? Dark, light, / dark, light. I believe I was at a 2.8. This is on the 20. This is on the 50mm Sigma, I think. But you can see only the near side eyes, and only this eye's in focus. Whereas this one, like the shot with depth of field, you know, like the depth of field in the full frame is crazy, you know. But if I stop down to like maybe a T4, probably could have got both eyes in. So, you know, little food for thoughts. Okay, and actually, you know, note to self, I'm gonna keep this in full screen, that way you can see everything, because you don't need to see the timeline. Okay, insert shot of the basketball. You know, it is what it is, right? We have the windows, we have the we have at least a little bit of light coming above. I think this was just really just room tone. I didn't really do anything with the light, you know. And then in the grade, you can add a little bit of crunch just to kind of create some shadow, right? So it's a basketball shot. It's a couple seconds long, not too bad, right? We go back, okay, use a knob, go back to the wide, he grabs the ball. Montage stuff, again, this is just run and gun, right? Shot up the field, just little loop-de-loop, boom. And then, so now these next series of shots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, montage kind of stuff, right? This is a trick if you don't have a lot of budget, right? So here, as he goes through here, right, is either you have to go past the person, they have to go past you, or you do it at the same time, right? When you're creating these montage type ads where you don't have like a pursuit car, you don't have a Russian arm, you don't have a really wide street or road to work with, right? Is you have to create the motion by yourself, right? So in this instance, I'm letting Jeremiah, who's the actor, ride his bike past me, right? Again, quick cut, go to the next one. Now this is really just, if you like, you have to like play it frame by frame, right? This is just me standing next to him, shaking the camera, right? Shaking the camera and then telling him go, right? And then he pulls off, right? And then we also do some speed ramping. I think we did some speed ramping type stuff. If I go here and then change clip speed, yeah, see, so 120%, right? You're just kind of creating some motion with it, right? And then I think in the grade I did, actually I didn't even add motion blur to this, right? So I could have added motion blur to make it more realistic, right? So lighting wise, this is just available light using the sun. We're in the middle of the like 11 a.m. or so, 11:30 a.m. So, you know, we're just trying to either use backlight or just shoot in different directions to kind of create the montage, right? You keep going. Now this part is basically just me running next to Jeremiah on the bike while he's riding at like super slow speeds, because obviously I can't keep up with the bike, right? But then in post you can increase the clip speed 120%, whatever you want, right? So there's that. This is an example of, I think I was slowly backing up while he's riding towards me, right? And getting a little camera shake here and there to kind of create the mood. And this is one of those shots where kind of a funky ass shot, like I'm not even level with the horizon, not even close to, right? But montage, who cares, right? This is where he's riding past me and I'm also running past him, right? You're getting that vibe. And then again, just lighting wise, right? We're just using backlight. Okay. The next part is where his bike is, you know, breaking down. He's like, what's going on here, right? Again, little handheld action. Still using our backlit sun, which is right here, right? And honestly, I didn't have the resources or tools. There was a lot of traffic, so it probably would have been really unsafe for me to put up an 8x overhead, or I mean, even at this point, like if you're gonna do something like this, okay, find the sun, get the backlight. You could have a grip walk with like a 6x6 solid, just to create this shadow side, right? And then so you have like, you know, depends on how big the person is, but say you have like one grip, right? You have one grip holding this 6x6 neg, right? And then maybe two people because neg's pretty heavy. And then you have like another grip holding a 6x6 of ultra bounce or poly bounce, right? Whatever, just to kind of get some level back on him, right? You could do that. I didn't have that, so we didn't do it. And then we keep going on, struggling with this bike, right? Then insert shot, bike again, where I found this little area of the street where there was a tree. So, you know, trees are always giving you nice patterns, right? It's almost kind of giving you like that gobo effect if you have a gobo attachment on your light. So again, we mess up the bike a little bit. We just break off the chain and kind of show that his bike is messed up now, right? What do you do? So then transition. You can create them in camera the best, right? So as I move the camera up, that moves into our next shot, right? So again, lighting wise, sun's still over here, right? Sun is still over here. We're just using it as backlight, all natural, letting it play out, trying to find a composition, right? So composition wise, we have at least this line right here, creating a nice little leading line, right? Leading line, creating dimensionality, right? We have creating, again, using kind of some nice geometry with this scene. So now we have this other line being created, and you know, that's all you can really do when it comes to anything. Even if this was like a studio and you're lighting it, or a location interior and you're lighting it, right? Create lines, create composition, use composition to your advantage. So now he's like, wait a minute, I know someone that can help me out, so let's go visit him. So we head off to Taj's house, right? And this scene was a little tricky to set up, and I'll show you why in a second. But again, this leading shot, right? I'll just let it play out a little bit. This took me fucking forever because my slider was not cooperating with me. So you can see there's a little bit of jankiness to the pan and tilt, right? It's always hard when you have to or not pan, but when you have to slide or dolly and then tilt up at the same time, right? But I wanted that effect. Okay, let's go back really quick. All right, so here, right? I don't know why I didn't do this, but see these blinds here, right? These blinds are pretty hot, right? They're pretty, I mean, they're not blowing out, they're not clipping, but this to me is like the brightest thing in the image next to maybe like his hand here, you know? And I don't know why I didn't close the blinds or play around with closing and opening the blinds like I did in the bedroom shot. I think because my mind was just going 800 miles per hour and I was just like, I just forgot, right? So now because of my forgetfulness, now I have to balance to this level here, right? So what do we do? What can we do in that kind of situation? I can show you here is what we did was, okay, so I don't like pointing a huge source at someone in a situation like this where you have like a lot of background that you need to compete with, right? Especially when you're so close here, right? Because the Forza 500 is basically behind this diffusion frame here, and it's there really isn't more space to put it, right? So what I like to do instead to make it less sourcey is to bounce the light and then diffuse it, right? So like a book light. So the Forza 500 shooting into a 8x poly bounce, and then we're softening up with magic cloth. And it kind of worked, kind of didn't work. I'll show you right now. Right? As we're here, right? As we're here, the magic cloth is really diffusing it. I wasn't at 100% on the fours. I could have gotten more, but I felt like the more I went, then it felt like there was a light here, and I didn't want to feel like I didn't want it to feel like there was a light there, right? But again, this is still the hottest thing in the image. So we also flagged off with the 4x floppy because it was getting the bounce was getting onto the wall here, and I like that, so we flagged it off. So like, I mean, this level over here is fine. It's again under this level here, right, and this level here. Overall, right, and again, this is a little hot there, but little hot highlights fine here. You can see like just how much like diffused like this entire area is here, right? It's so soft, right? But that's what magic cloth does. Magic cloth really softens up whatever you push through it, which can be good or it can be bad, right? So but overall, I mean, at least we have like a couple things as far as decoration goes, right? We have, this is my friend Chris's house, and he just blocked off this because he has a very adventurous son that likes to roam around, right? So we just have like stuff in the background that's adding to the actual scene, right? So anyways, let's go ahead and play it out. This available light, right? The sun's on this side of the frame, right? And so Jamal's trying to figure out like, hey, it's sitting home, right? Again, so the sun's back here, right? We're going super blobby, shallow depth of field, cal anamorphic, right? And we go back here. Nope, rewind here, right? So again, a bit of highlight, but you can tell that he's not necessarily underexposed, but he's not the brightest thing in the image, whereas the windows are the brightest thing in the image, right? And I think his skin, his face matches this wall as far as exposure goes, which is fine. I think if I had to do it again, I definitely would have closed these blinds like at least a quarter of the way through, just to allow a little leak of light through, and then I would have been able to bring up my Forza 500 just a little bit to create a starker contrast and make him the brightest thing in the image, right? But we still got a little bit of highlight there, a little bit of foreground action here, right? We just put a chair in there, right? Again, just trying to create layers, right? Trying to create as many layers as possible. Even on the table here, right? Add a little glass of water here. Add some spice to it. You know what I'm saying? Play it out. He looks. He's like, nah, I ain't home, right? Go back to Jamal again. This is all these inserts are just run and gun, available light. We're not really doing anything here, right? And so just trying to make it as nice as possible, knowing that they're quick, right? Here you kind of get like an interesting shot where you see like the out of focus elements are crazy, right? This is like Calba 16H with the SLR Magic 50mm f1.2 micro prime for Sony E-mount. And I mean, you get that like crazy old school anamorphic like bowing effect, right? Which is pretty nuts. All right, I like it. Keep going. He's laughing. Insert back here. Insert. Right, and then we finally get up, going for a close up, and he's like, "What?" Right, and he walks over. Okay, now next setup here.